All right. So we should be live, and we are live in fact. Let me just triple check. Okay, brilliant. Right, so welcome everyone. Introductions first. My name is Claudio and I teach Italian. I teach Italian to everyone, people that are experts, people that are beginners, and the full spectrum. I love Italian, but I love learning languages even more. I learned languages such as English by myself, and through that journey, that painful journey, I learned a lot of lessons. And these are the lessons that I'm trying to impart into my teachings. Understanding how languages work is important. Italian, l'italiano, has certain rules, pronunciation and grammar, etc. But it's also important to practice. So this is what we're doing in these sessions. We are practicing Italian. This is the idea. You can ask me any questions you want. I can reply to any questions I want. And hopefully this is going to be helpful for you and for me, because it's always a two-way thing. I get feedback and you guys get your feedback. So if you have any Italian question, any question to do with Italian, the language, maybe even the culture, you can ask it in the chat. And if you don't have access to it, maybe you're just watching a recording, then you can post it in the comments, or you can tune in for the next session. We always have sessions on Sunday, 2 p.m. GMT. So I don't know if it's morning for you, if it's afternoon, if it's evening. Mattino, pomeriggio, sera. I don't know where you are, but wherever you are, you can tune in and ask questions. I have prepared something. Not just my water. I have prepared something, but you can also interrupt and ask questions. This is what we're doing this for. So there's nothing wrong with asking questions that don't matter or don't fit in with what I'm trying to talk about. Anyways, I see there's already a few people connected. That's very good. Let me know if you can hear me. So just type OK if you can hear me. Se mi sentite, se mi vedete. So if you can hear me, if you can see me okay, please type it in the chat so we can get started. All right. Oh, brilliant. Okay, so for some reason I couldn't see the chat. All right. Ciao Mark. Ciao Arturo. Franci. Tutto bene? Nice haircut. Thanks. Ready for the summer. Buona domenica. E piova qui. Okay. Capisco. So it's raining. It's raining where you are. Well, it's not raining here. I'm in Italy now, finally, and it's sunny. È bello. It is good. È bello. It also means it's nice. It's nice weather. E piova qui. So what you've written is not very. It's not completely correct. So we can take a look at that. You should say piove qui. Piove qui. Qui, here. Piove, it rains. All right, let's go back to our session today. Right, so today I would like to talk about reflexive form. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments. I'm going to look at the chat every 5 minutes or so. I would like this session to really last for 35 minutes. I don't want these sessions to be long. I don't want to do a 2-hour session or a 3-hour session or a 1-hour session that we usually do. I would like to talk about the reflexive form. I know it's difficult, but I want it to become super easy. In fact, it should become natural to you. So for those of you that don't have a clue what the reflexive form is, that's fine. La forma riflessiva. So let me type it. La forma riflessiva. Can you all see my notepad? All right, that's fine. Yeah, you can see it. All right, I need to get a new screen. Anche qui piove. Okay, right. That's correct. That's fine. La forma riflessiva. La forma riflessiva is a form, obviously. It's a construct that allow people to send messages, to deliver meaning to other people. So it's grammar. We're talking about grammar. But I want to start by having you try some examples. So I want this to be very interactive. I'm not going to sit here and explain to you what reflexive form means because it doesn't matter. Like let's see what it means in terms of how we can use it. So just very quickly, reflexive form means instead of having a subject, an action, and an object, we have a subject, an action, and an object, but the subject and the object are the same thing. For example, I love myself, right? I love myself. You love yourself. These sentences are technically reflexive. They're reflexive because the subject and the object are the same person. Right. I want to, well, are we clear? Are we clear so far? And by the way, this is the end of the explanation. Now we're going to go into practicing what this means in real life. Do you guys understand? Give me a nod. Say okay, yes, sì, certo, chiaro, chiarissimo. And you might wonder, why do we need to use the reflexive form? In Italian, it's a very common thing. It's a very common thing to use it. So we must use the reflexive form. Right. So if I don't get any questions and if you guys say that you're okay, I can move on to the next thing. And the next thing is going to be examples. All right. So we're going to start with one example. My chest hurts. And I'm sorry, these are not very nice and delicate and positive examples, but they're examples and they're common enough. So hold on a second. I need to read this. Okay, read it. My chest hurts. How would you translate this in English? And sorry, in Italian. And please try to do it on your own. If you have to look away from the screen and think about it for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and then come back to the screen, you're welcome to do that. Think about it for a second. And if you have no idea, that's fine. Okay, so we have a question, io lavarmi versus io mi lavo. What's the difference? Okay, that's a big difference. I'll come back to it. Please, Mark, remind me if I forget to answer your question. I tend to forget, but I don't want to. So please remind me to come back to your question. Your question is specific, so I'm gonna ignore it for now, but I'm going to definitely tackle it later because it's related but specific. So I'm gonna go ahead with the general point that I'm making. So my chest hurts. Chest is we can use possiamo usare pancia, 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 pancia means belly, you know, but it's also common to use it interchangeably with chest. So pancia, let's go with belly, chest, and it's feminine. My is mio. In this case, though, it's mia, because pancia is feminine. So this means my, okay? Feminine. Can you still see? Yeah, that's great. So how about hurts? It hurts. Something hurts. So there are two very common expressions in Italian. Fare male, fare bene. Fare bene, something that is good for you. Fare bene, to do well. It does well to me. Or it does bad, literally. It does bad. That's the literal translation. Fare male. So we have fare bene and fare male. Fare bene, we're gonna highlight it and make it bold. And fare male, we're gonna leave it like that. This can be in blue, and we can put this, we can make it pretty, maybe orange or something. It's not very pretty, but doesn't matter. Okay, so anyways, not quite sure if it looks worse than it did at the beginning. Fare bene means to do well, to be good for something. For example, l'acqua fa bene. So water is good. Water is good, as in good for people's health. It's good to consume, right? It's something healthy. L'acqua fa bene. Fa is the third person singular of the verb fare. Remember, verbs in Italian need conjugating. So first person, second person, third person, and then again, first person plural, second person plural, third person plural. L'acqua fa bene. L'olio fa male. What do you think this phrase means? L'olio fa male. And by the way, I'm not saying it's true or false. This is, I'm just making up sentences and phrases to work because we need them. L'olio fa male. What do you think that sentence means? So this means water is good or healthy. Exactly. Mark is right. Oil, generic. Obviously, this sentence doesn't really make sense, but it's grammatically perfectly correct. The context would make the sentence either make sense or not, right? Oil is unhealthy. Let's not even comment on the veracity of this. Let's just accept. Oil, I could have said anything. I could have said Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is unhealthy. Coca-Cola, la Coca-Cola, fa male. By the way, these two phrases, fare male, fare bene, are so important. You see how common these phrases would be, right? So very useful. Take notes if you don't know how to use these phrases or if you don't use them often enough, and it's almost impossible not to use them often enough. Use them more, because these are very common phrases, very Italian. Literally, it doesn't feel right. This does well, this does bad. It doesn't make sense, but in Italian it does. Fare bene, fare male. Okay, so we kind of got lost because we were talking about la forma riflessiva. That's right. and we were trying to translate this sentence in Italian. My chest hurts. So remember where we come from. We all come from my chest hurts, and we want to translate it. So if I didn't know anything about forma riflessiva, Italiano, etc., and I was just given an Italian dictionary, I could say, well, my chest, so mia pancia fa male. So I actually conjugated fare correctly, fa male, and I also put the right ending to mia, to adjective, my, because pancia is feminine, so it's not mio, it's mia. Mia pancia fa male. Let's improve on this. This is not perfect, is it? Is there anyone that can see the error in this phrase? Is anyone able to see the problem? There is one problem, and then there is some extra improvement that we're going to work on together. But there is one problem. Mia pancia fa male sounds like an immigrant, someone that's recently immigrated and hasn't learned the language deeply enough. There are all the major components. I understand correctly, mia pancia fa male, but it doesn't sound like someone who's been working on the Italian for long. Let's see what the... Okay, Arturo, mi pancia fa male. No. And then you can explain to me why you thought it would be me. Although we're gonna use me for this sentence. So hang on. Mark is completely right. Mark is correct. La mia. We need something that we don't need in English. Definite article. La mia. This is very, very important that we always remember that often in Italian we need the definite article. Which chest is painful? Mine. Okay, in English you don't need the definite article, mine. But in Italian, my chest is painful. Because we're talking about a chest in particular. It doesn't matter if it's mine or if it's my uncle's. The one. Otherwise it would be a one, a chest. Una, etc., etc. For example, if I wanted to say, and by the way, let me know if I go off different tangents and that confuses you. But if I had the phrase, one of my fingers hurts, or a finger of mine hurts, then I could say un mio dito fa male. Right? Un. Because it's a finger of mine. It's one of them. It's not the one, because I don't have the finger, right? I have 5 or 10 or whatever. So that's right. Unless I only had one finger, in which case, sadly, I would use the definite article. But using the definite article in that circumstance would be the least of my problems. So, back to business. My chest hurts, la mia pancia fa male. Okay, fine. What did I say at the beginning of this session? I said, mi pancia fa male. Closer and closer. You're getting closer and closer, Arturo. Bravo, Arturo. Bravo, Mark. I always recommend people being active and making mistakes, because through mistakes I can understand better how to continue the session, and also you can learn more. I believe that strongly. So, okay, we've translated it. La mia pancia fa male. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with this sentence. Most Italians would not say this. And by the way, you can say this and it's correct, but what's preferred or preferable in many circumstances, and this is a circumstance where you can choose, but we will see circumstances where you cannot choose, is to use the reflexive form. So an Italian would say, most likely, mi fa male la pancia. Now we have to make this make sense. Not easy, but we'll try. No, what did I do? That was a mistake. Okay, that's much better. So, does anybody have any explanation? Fa male is the same. So Arturo was actually very close. So here's the idea. The idea is, instead of saying la mia pancia, so the subject, fa male, it's the action, the predicate, I go and say a me, so to me, fa male, so what's painful to me is the chest in this particular case. Mi fa male la pancia. Mi stands for a me. A me fa male, and the subject in this case comes later. It goes after the predicate. A me fa male la pancia. Mi fa male la pancia. This is, I guess, easier to pronounce and perhaps not trivial to understand, but mi fa male la pancia. This is reflexive, meaning that la pancia is almost part of the subject. So we don't have a case scenario where I am the subject and I am the object, like in the case I love myself, you love yourself, she loves herself. We have a case where I feel pain not to myself, but to a part of myself. So this is why the reflexive form is so common, because it's not just subject-object, it's also when it comes to body parts, because body parts that we looked at in the previous lessons, go and see the previous session, last week's session, we talked about body parts. Body parts are part of us, so it's part of the subject. Another very similar example, I wash my hair. I wash my hair. Mi. Does anybody know how to continue this sentence? I wash my hair. Mi. Then we need the verb. Please stop me if you don't understand. Stop me if there's something that doesn't sit right with you. These are not trivial concepts. These are very awkward things to explain. But once you have understood the main logic behind it, and you see a lot of examples, then things become more and more simple, because the examples never change. They're always the same examples. So we're going to see other examples. Mi lavo il mio capelli. Okay, perfect. So this is what I wanted to see. Mi lavo. Mi lavo means I wash But then when it comes to mi lavo I capelli, I wash my hair, say I wash my hair, I wash the hair to myself. That's the Italian sentence. So mi lavo I capelli. So correct, careful. Yeah, Mark, you said il mio capelli. Mi lavo I miei capelli. And miei because it's plural. But we don't need miei anymore because we are using mi, right? So we are replacing the possessive adjective my with the reflexive form, right? So this is a key thing. So in English, you have my chest hurts. I wash my hair, right? We have these two English examples here. My chest hurts. I wash my hair. We use the possessive adjective my. In Italian, we can use the same. La mia pancia fa male. Lavo I miei capelli. We can say that. But it's best to use the reflexive form. Mi fa male la pancia. Mi lavo I capelli. So we do without the possessive adjective. Instead, we use the reflexive form. Here we have more examples. And here we have the table that I prepared. And I almost forgot, but didn't forget. I'm joking, I did forget, I just found it. So when we say me, we've seen it before, right? I told you, it stands for a me. So these are the indirect object pronouns that we need for the reflexive form. So to me, a me, to you, to him, to her, to us, etc. And this is the weak form that you've seen previously. Mi lavo I capelli. We do 3 examples that are still going to be painful, not just because of the content, but they're actually painful because there is this strange idea of a part of the body being considered as the same as the subject. And then this session is designed to become easier and easier as we go through it, as opposed to harder and harder. I think that the next examples, the ones after these examples, there's 3 more examples, are going to make things click, right? So let's see. My foot hurts. Now, foot is piede. How would you translate this sentence? So as I said, these examples are still going to be a bit difficult, just the same as the previous ones that we've done. And then we're going to see easier examples that I think are going to make things click for everyone. So feel free to translate it in one. Mi piedi fa male. How about ho mal di piedi? Okay, yes. Ho mal di piedi is fine. Is fine. That's very good, but it's different. So ask me again later if you want any more specific answers on that particular thing. But it's good. That's your direct answer to ho mal di piedi. Ho mal di piedi is perfect. So mi piedi fa male. Okay. Remember that the subject goes at the end. So you're almost 100% correct, Mark. So my foot hurts. We can translate it in an English way. In an English way, meaning just translating. Il mio piede. I used the definite article because I'm talking about this specific foot. But I could also use un mio piede. But let's just stick with definite. Il mio piede. Mio o because piede is masculine. This is something that we just have to know it. Piede is masculine. Piede, piedi. Il mio piede fa male. So my foot hurts. I could have done it in the plural. Yes, Arturo is correct. Mi fa male il piede. So if we want to translate it using the reflexive form, which is what Italians would prefer, is mi fa male il piede. So il piede becomes the subject. Il piede fa male. So my foot hurts to myself. It hurts me. It is painful to me. So fa male means to be painful. So the foot is painful to me. But in this case, we just say, my foot is painful. All right, I'm gonna do the other two, and then together we're gonna do the last set, which I promise makes sense. My neck hurts. Neck is collo, right? So, il mio collo fa male. Or mi fa male il collo. Mi fa male il collo. The neck is painful to me. To me, the neck is causing pain. To me, the neck is causing pain. Il collo fa male a me. Mi fa male il collo. My knees. This is in the plural. Le mie ginocchia. And we spent the whole entire last session, talking about how terrible some of the nouns to do with the body parts are, right? They don't follow the usual feminine, masculine order. They don't go with a, e if it's feminine, o, I if it's masculine. They just do whatever they want. So how do you say ni? Ginocchio, masculine. But then how do you say knees, plural? It becomes feminine for some reason. Ginocchia, le ginocchia, the knees, plural. Le mie ginocchia. So this time we need the third person plural. Fanno, they do, fanno male. Fanno male. Or mi fanno male le ginocchia. Mi fa male il piede, mi fa male le ginocchia. Yes, remember this time is fanno, mi fanno. Sono loro che fanno. It's the knees that do, not third person singular, third person plural. All right. This is very difficult. Let me know if you have any questions. I can go back to it, no problem. I would like to move on because the next examples are going to be easier and we've already done way too much. We've already spent 30 minutes. I would like to know what you think is the translation of I like pasta. I like pasta. Say you want to go to Italy and you are at a restaurant or a bar, which in Italian is a cafe, bar, un bar. I bar sono caffè. They are cafes. They're just places where you can get, beer, tea, coffee, etc. Anyways, and you want to say, I like pasta. How do you translate that? Mi piace la pasta. Okay, let's take a look at this. Mi piace la pasta. So it's amazing, right? Maybe you found it easy, but this is not easy at all. I mean, what part of this makes sense? Mi piace la pasta. None of it makes sense. By the way, it's correct. I should say io, because I is io. Io piace, or piaccio, because it's first person singular, piaccio, of the verb piacere. La pasta. Io piaccio la pasta. But this is completely and utterly garbage. This doesn't work. This would just get you some weird looks, you know. Wow, you're weird. The reason for it is that certain verbs in Italian make it mandatory to use the reflexive form. Piacere is one of them. Piacere. Piacere doesn't mean, well, we don't have the verb to like, we have the verb to be appealing to, right? To be appealing to. So, we have to get clever. We have to say, oh, okay. So, io, or actually, pasta, la pasta, piace, so is appealing to me, a me, a me. La pasta piace a me, which becomes mi piace la pasta. This is the correct form. Mi piace la pasta. So this is completely wrong. Just do it red. Is it clear how the reflexive form exists in Italian? Certain verbs make it mandatory. Mi piace la pasta. Okay, perfect. Another example, and trust me, all these examples are very, very similar, and this is how it works in Italian. Like it's not like I picked some examples to make it easier for you. I actually try to make your life as hard as possible. No, I'm kidding. But these examples are real life examples, and they're all the same. I like going to the beach. How do you say that? These are the last examples, and then we end the session because it's too much. Mi piace andare a spiaggia, okay? Mi piacciono le paste. Is this correct in the plural form? Okay, good question. So first of all, Mark, mi piace andare a spiaggia. Perfect. Remember though, it's correct, but remember that Italians rarely say I go to the beach. As crazy as this might sound, they rarely say I go to the beach. They always say I go to the sea, right? Vado al mare. They don't say vado alla spiaggia. Some people say that, but 9 out of 10, you will hear people say vado al mare. Okay? Mi piace andare al mare. Alla spiaggia. So literally, Mark is right. Alla spiaggia. But I like trick questions. No, I'm joking. There's always many levels to something, right? There's many levels to something. Mi piace andare alla spiaggia is perfect. Mi piace andare al mare is just more common. I love learning Italian. Mi piace il mare. Perfect. Absolutely correct. Hold on a minute. So there was a question, and this is a side question, but it's quite nice. So Arturo asked, mi piacciono le paste. Is this correct? Mi piacciono le paste. Okay, let's take a look. Mi piacciono le paste. So obviously he made piace in the third person plural because now this is plural. Le paste. So we're talking about many things. I like many things. Many things are appealing to me, right? Mi piacciono le paste. Does it make sense? So pasta is uncountable. So you don't say pastas. Although in a restaurant you could say 3 pastas, but I mean pasta is like sand. You don't say 3 sands, right? Sand is uncountable. Grain is uncountable. If you say le paste, what it means is desserts. So if you Google le paste, you will find that you won't see spaghetti or penne. You won't see that. You will see desserts. So it's a completely different thing. And of course, it's 100% correct, but it has a different meaning. So be careful. Mi piace il mare, perfect. Mi amo imparando l'italiano. Okay, so Mark caught the trend and replied and answered in exactly the way that I was expecting. Mi piace il mare. Mi amo imparando l'italiano. So let's look into it. I like going to the beach. Mi piace andare al mare. Okay. I love learning Italian. So this is why I'm saying some verbs work in this manner and some verbs don't. I like, mi piace, works in this way. I like learning Italian. This would be mi piace imparare l'italiano. Okay. What if we say I love learning Italian? Io amo imparare l'italiano. So what am I trying to say here? I'm trying to say that love doesn't need any reflexive form. So just say love. Just exaggerate things and don't use like. I'm serious. If it helps you become more fluent in the short term, go with what's easiest. By all means. So I'm joking, but I'm not joking. I love learning Italian. Amo imparare l'italiano. Easy. Some verbs mean what you think they mean, coming from English. To love, amare. Okay, that's fine. That's a one-to-one match. To like, piacere, that's not a one-to-one. It's more like to be appealing to, or to be appealing to, piacere. That's the translation. So sometimes certain verbs require the reflexive form and others don't, like amare. Or like odiare, hate. I hate waiting for the bus. This is our last example. Go ahead, give it a try. Google something if you have to. To wait is aspettare. To hate is odiare. And bus is autobus. And notice how these two verbs are both, are type verbs, both of them. I'm just randomly coloring things, but that's okay. I'm allowed. Here we go. Non mi piace aspettare per l'autobus. Okay. This is a very good attempt. So pay attention because this is the last example for the day. And I think Mark did very well. So, non mi piace aspettare per l'autobus. Now, there are two lessons in this example. First of all, I already talked about how to like is a verb that requires this reflexive form. Other verbs don't. So, to love, amare, doesn't deal with it. To hate, odiare, doesn't deal with it either. So we don't need this non mi piace. We can just say odio. It's a very strong word, I guess, but it's fine. Odio aspettare per l'autobus. Right? Second lesson that we learn in this specific example, and this is a mistake that many foreigners make. The English native speakers make it when they speak Italian. Italians make it when they speak English. In English, you say to wait for something. In Italian, you wait something. Aspettare l'autobus. That's it. We don't need per, which you would use in English. I wait for the bus. I don't wait the bus. Wait the bus is strange. It feels like, it sounds like I'm trying to determine how much weight it can carry or how much weight it's not the right thing. Odio aspettare l'autobus. You will hear it all the time, If someone is waiting for the bus, odio aspettare l'autobus. However, if we said, I don't like waiting for the bus, then non mi piace aspettare l'autobus. That was perfect. So that's pretty good. Awesome. So what I am going to say is, this is it for today. Do you guys have any questions? Did you enjoy the session? Did you not enjoy the session? Let me know. Give me some feedback here in the chats or in the comments. If you're super happy, let me know. We have a buy me a coffee link on our website if you feel like it. You don't have to, of course. But let me know if these sessions are too complicated, or if you find this particular topic too complex. If you didn't make heads or tails, or if it helped, and if you want to see more examples. We can just do more examples next time. I feel like it would probably be a good idea. Maybe 10 examples. It's a fine line between doing enough so that you are comfortable and not doing too many so that you get bored. So it's a bit difficult. Arturo, good job, Mark. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Mark did a good job. Arturo, also, good job. Very good attempts. It's very important that you make stupid mistakes here in the chat with me, as opposed to doing it in real life and getting, feeling a bit sad. But that's the process that it takes. That's the mentality. I admire everyone who learns a new language, because it's such a painful journey. Studying for years and then looking like an idiot in front of people. It takes a certain strength And I really appreciate the people that go through the same journey. And also I appreciate the people that do it on here in the chats, because I think it's very useful. Great explanations, help us to remember. Grazie mille anche tu, grazie. Bravo, learned a lot. Oggi, I love it. It's some mix between Italian and English, but it's good, it looks good. Grazie, bravi anche voi, bravissimi. Sono contento che provate e praticate spesso l'italiano. Okay. What can I say? I'm very excited also because in the university we're going to the people on the course are going to start speaking more Italian now, because we're doing Skype sessions. I don't know if we're going to be using Skype, but it doesn't matter. Let me know, guys, if you have any questions. I think we can call it quits for the day. We'll see each other next Sunday at 2 p.m. Ciao a tutti. Studiate e imparate un po' di italiano. Okay, so learn and study a little bit of Italian this week and ask me questions next week. Okay? Ciao a tutti, grazie e buona domenica, buona settimana.